Yes, Labor won, but all its disasters remain. I'll give you an example today, and a disturbing reaction from the Prime Minister that China would be applauding. Our Defence Force has been stripped to the bone under this government, at the very time that this same government says the world has never been this dangerous since World War II. Well, the Australian Institute of Strategic Policy today issued a report pointing out exactly that. Spending on our military was too low. We lack the right weapons. We aren't recruiting enough soldiers. So for the next few years, it says, we're left with a paper Australian Defence Force that lacks the readiness and size to meet near-term threats. I mean, that is scary. But the Prime Minister reacted with insults and a vague threat.
Well, that's what they do, isn't it, Aspie? I mean, seriously, they need to, I think, have a look at themselves as well and the way that they conduct themselves in debates. We've had a Defence Strategic Review. We've got considerable additional investment going into defence, $10 billion.
Well, that's a threat because the government has actually endorsed a report recommending that this very institute, be stripped of the government money it gets for offering its independent strategic advice. And the Chinese dictatorship loves that because it's been furious that ASPI, this institute, identifies China as a threat. China's government-controlled media is called ASPI anti-Chinese. Says it's just a tool of China hawks and that it's taking money to defame China and should go bankrupt. So when the Albanese government indeed signalled that it supported stripping ASPI of funds, it was accused by the coalition of targeting ASPI for criticising China. And now Albanese is attacking it again for saying we're weak if China does go to war. Joining me from ASPI is Malcolm Davis, who's an expert on China's militarisation. Malcolm, thank you so much for your time. Good to have you on the show again. You heard the Prime Minister's attack on your institute. What's your response?
Look, my response is that the whole reason for ASPI's existence is to provide contestability and alternative defence advice to government. That was why we were set up in 2001. That is what we have done ever since. We have provided that contestability and that frank and fearless alternative defence advice to government, and we've shaped the public debate on defence and strategic policy as well. And that's what we're going to do. Our job is not to essentially provide the advice or the analysis that the government necessarily wants to hear. Is to provide the advice that is based on the facts. And when you look at the Cost of Defence report, which was released by my colleagues today, that report was based on facts provided by the Labor Party government in terms of the portfolio budget statement that came out with the federal budget and in terms of our analysis of government defence policy. So I respectfully disagree with the Prime Minister. ASPI is going to continue to do its job to provide that contestability, which is an essential function of policy analysis and policy development.
What do you think he meant when he said that this criticism is just what you do at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute and you should have a look at yourself? It sounded to me like a threat in the context of its endorsement of a cut to your funding.
We're very aware of the implications of the Varghese review, but we have no intention of closing down our activities. Our role provides an essential service to the Australian government and to the Australian people in terms of shaping Australian defence policy. You know, we provide that alternative advice, we shape the public debate, we get people thinking about critical issues in defence and defence policy. And that's what we do as an organisation. And when you look at other think tanks around the world, that's exactly what they do as well. So yes, the Prime Minister disagreed with our assessment today, but that assessment was based on data provided by his government in the form of budgetary statements and in terms of other defence policy documents. And I have the greatest respect and regard for my colleagues at ASPI, and I think that we are going to continue on doing what we've done over the last 24 years. We're not about to shut up shop.
Well, that is really good because, as you know, well, I for one have quoted the Australian Strategic Policy Institute many, many times. I know you've really offended the Chinese government, but that is precisely because you have identified a threat that the whole world has been waking up to. And if that your voice is silenced, I think there'll be a tragedy. And I find it despicable that the Prime Minister responded to your report today in that threatening way. Dr. Malcolm Davis, thank you for your time.